right, guys, Dominick Izzo Wing Chun out here in the Chicago area. Hope you guys are doing well. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the thanks button, show us some love. A lot of people are talking about the straight blast lately, so I thought I would chime in, give you my explanation, how we teach the straight blast, the chain punches, what it's for, and what I think it's not for. Again, this is my perception. How I teach it is what it is based on all of my Wing Chun and fighting experience. The straight blast is traditionally taught in JKD, Jeet Kune Do. We don't as much use it in Wing Chun. In Wing Chun, the chain punches is what the straight blast was derived out of. From a side view, I'm going to show you what it looks like, right? This is it. Chain punches. What we don't have is, on the elbow, we don't have a pivoting motion. We have a pistoning motion, and then it just continues. Continues. From the front view, continues. Some schools do like this. I've seen a lot of schools that do the side-to-side, the rock'em sock'em robots. The first thing we have to establish is what the chain punch is. It's a training tool to teach replacement and centerline protection and domination. That's all it is. Two objects can't occupy the same space at the same time, right? If I'm coming straight down the camera at you and I occupy that center line and you come straight at me, well, mass is going to dictate who gets the center line. Both our fists are going to collide at each other. They're both going to disrupt each other. And if I'm bigger than stronger than you, then my will is going to bulldoze right into your center line. It's going to destroy the fist that's in the way. And you're going to take the inside gate or the outside gate of my arm, and you're going to wedge right in. It's the first thing it teaches us. I know a lot of you out there like to adopt the soft energies of Wing Chun. Fucking embrace the hard collision, destructive power of Wing Chun. Embrace it. It's what it's there for. The second aspect is to teach the power of connecting the elbows to the hips. We don't pivot on the elbow. We piston on the elbow. The elbow moves forward. One of the third concepts is teaching if one hand is coming back, how do you avoid this since they're both in the center, right? Well, your hand that comes back has to drop and clear the path for the hand going forward. Drop and clear the hand going forward. It's just chain punches, right? Another aspect is the Indiana Jones. Do you remember? Do you remember the idol, the golden idol, and the bag of sand, and one goes over the other? When you are replacing any point on this time, any point along this pathway, energy coming in can be stopped, and you can retreat this enough to load up your other round. Stop, and it's just replacement. Gum sow energy, call it. It's the precursor to gum sow energy. We're pushing into somebody. It's all it is. It's a training tool, right? And it's teaching people a reciprocation, right? A belt-fed chain of ammunition, like literally a fully automatic long gun, a machine gun, if you will, right? That cartridge gets loaded into the barrel, fires down, comes back, ejects the shell casing out of the port. A new one automatically feeds in. Well, it's just a never-ending, nonstop barrage of ammunition coming down. It's another concept to look at it. For some strange reason, we thought in Wing Chun that was a technique. I teach my students it as a concept and idea. There's no difference with this than there is with this and 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 this. The nonstop repetitive nature of one goes forward and one comes back to replace it, to reload for ammunition going out again, is the chain punch and concept. But a lot of people wanted to say, we need to make this a straight blast. We need to make this an attack tool. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I don't like that have to attribute. And I'll say again, remember, this is off of my base of experience. I complimented the shit out of the Lung Ting lineage the other day. One of the things that I don't like with what I've seen with a lot of them is their center of gravity is very raised, unlike the Wang Sheng Lung lineage, which is very rooted into the earth. When you're doing a straight blast, how some of those guys are projecting off of the rear leg and they're up in the air, as a grappler, you're giving me a Christmas present. To be honest, I'm going to tell you flat out, you know how you beat the straight blast? You step offline. That's all it is. You step offline. That's it. Step offline, lower your level, you're done. A lot of people, when they teach that straight blast, you are raising your level at your head ahead, and it's not going to do too much damage. I'll get in that in a second. I want to articulate what I think the straight blast is truly for. This is a misconception from a show, from a documentary. I don't remember what this was in or who the hosts were. But this was a Wing Chun documentary, and it's featuring Master Wang Zai-Peng, who is Jai Harmon's teacher. And I'm going to tell you flat out, said it this before, I don't owe him anything. Jai and I communicate vaguely here and there online. I think he's one of the most dangerous Wing Chun practitioners on the planet. He's proven it. Master Wang Zai-Peng is one of the best teachers in the history of Wing Chun. He's on my dream list of Sifus I would love to learn under, or I wish I would have learned under. This is just him. I want to pay him that compliment really fast. But I'm going to play this. They did this kind of like fight science breakdown of what Wing Chun is based on the battle punches, the chain punches, the straight blast. We're going to look at this for a second. We're just going to play this and go to the narrative.
Wing Chun doesn't just rely on speed. It uses power, too.
He's excited. Oh, yeah, that sucks. And even through a pad from, this far away, you feel a lot of power.
The key to this synergy of speed and power is punch technique, punch location, and punch frequency. With your elbows tucked in behind your fist, the energy of each punch is maximized. And because the punch is delivered to your opponent's core along a center line, the more directly that force is transmitted to his body. The effect is similar to that of continually slamming a battering ram against a door. No matter how strong, it can only sustain so many blows before it collapses.
All right, let's take a look at that again with no volume, and I'm going to say what this animation does, which doesn't do Wing Chun any favors. If you're looking at this, where's that? Number one, yeah, the chest placement where they have this, they pretty much took a carbon copy about where we train at, right? I talk all the time about the importance of why we train at the sternum height. It's really impractical when you apply it to combat, because you're not going to hit somebody in the chest plate. It's going to be like, really? That's what you got? You want to aim for throat, middle of the face. If you look at this, the footwork that they have, this animation, number one, let's talk about this for a second, right? The repetitive nature about hitting in the same place over and over and over and over again. Sensory overload and round placement are what I use the examples of why I teach my students. We don't do the straight blast and punch people in the face over and over and over again. If I'm on the range and I'm learning to shoot as a cop, the number one reason we shoot people is to terminate life-threatening behavior. And how we get that is done through one of two ways, right? You sever the spinal cord by aiming for right between the eyes, instant death, right? The brain stem's just gone, can't get information into the brain, the human body shuts down. We know under low light conditions, high stress conditions, moving targets, it's extremely, extremely difficult to do, right? So what do we teach? We teach center mass. Center mass is for blood loss. So think about this concept for a second about why you don't do the straight blast the way that it's taught. If you're going to be hitting over and over and over again, the way they're showing in this video at the same spot, think about this. If you're going to shoot a bad guy and the main thing is for blood loss, and I can't remember if it's a liter or a pint, but the human body starts to slow down when you start to lose like a liter or a pint of blood, right? That being said, do you want the hole? If I have a 9mm or whatever, and I'm shooting at the same spot and the hole starts here, then here, then here, then here, then here, yeah, you're eventually going to get bigger hole, right? Do you want one hole getting bigger, or do you want to shoot upper chest, lower stomach, middle of the chest, upper chest again, lower stomach? Do you want to spread your shots out so that you have more holes ridding the body of more blood faster? Does that make sense in spreading out the shots? Why we do that? That's number one. The second concept is sensory overload. If I tap you on your shoulder over and over and over again, here you go, on your shoulder, over and over and over again, you're going to get annoyed. But if I go head, shoulder, midsection, back of the leg, up of the head, and I start tapping you all over the place, it's going to be like you walking in on a summer's day and you walk into a swarm of gnats that's flying, and you're like, what the? or walking into a spider web. You get that sensory overload. So when you're hitting the straight blast in the same spot over and over and over again, like this is showing, the problem becomes then that you're not really doing too much damage. And we're going to get that in a second. It's got to be sensory overload. The last thing is the footwork. If you look at this, they copied and pasted pretty much what a lot of Wing Chun schools do, which is that propelling off the back leg to put energy into that punch. It's okay. Can you guys not see how easy it is? Literally, this is the way some people train. Just pak sao, step offline, lower your level, and take a motherfucker down. This is bad. This is not, this is a concept, right? And what this does teach is projecting off of your back leg to put power into punch so that it's just not arm. Remember, there's training and application. This is a training concept. That's all that is. So that's the first thing I kind of want to talk about when it comes to this. The second thing is how it was taught, right? I think we need to go back to this for a second, which is one of the guys who made the straight blast very famous is Paul Vunak. I think that he's got some great stuff, but again, too, that's his stuff. It's not Wing Chun. I'm going to play what he does here with a straight blast. He does a lot of teaching. Let's see this. And let's take a look at it. He's holding back, obviously, a ton here. It's a training demo. That's, okay.
Now, as you see,
I want to go back to that for a second. I want to look at the footwork. Watch his footwork from an overhead point of view as he's throwing a straight blast. Again, if I'm going to critique this like a motherfucker, okay, it's training. So he's shortchanging his punches. There's no extension on him. Just guys, I'm just critiquing the shit out of something that's critiquable, right? It's the footwork that I want you to look at. He's walking forward. There's no projection off of a back leg to add to power in this. So let's watch this again. Watch from an overhead point of view and watch his footwork. Walking in. He's just walking in. Why? No, you're slowing internet on there. That's where he's walking in, right? So we're going to reset that for a second as my internet loads up here. Here's again, walking in. Hiccuping at this damn part. Walking in. All right? So we saw that. So one of the issues I have with that is if we're going to train it how we wind up teaching it, it's got to be taught properly in a concept form. Let's fast forward to a second part of this video where Paul starts to put in what I think that the straight blast could be used for in a good way. This is the second part of his video.
For a destruction or an intercept blast. Okay, Thomas.
Here's where I think that the straight blast starts to become a little bit more practical, right? And what I think that it's for. I think if we're gonna distinguish the straight blast between the concept of training and an application, this is good. This is sensory overload. Now all of a sudden, instead of it being a technique, it's sensory overload. It's like, what the hell? Oh my gosh, what is that? Right? I think that's where it needs to be started to look at. So there's no Wing Chun straight blast. I think the straight blast in itself then, like chain punches, is a concept for training, excuse me. I think the straight blast needs to become a concept for training. Where I say this in the movies, this is gonna be a little bit nostalgia for you. I'm gonna show you where I think straight blast exists in boxing, and it's just if you blink, you're gonna miss it, right? If we're talking about straight blast is for sensory overload, is to kind of get your opponent to do this so that you could transition into another movement, which I'll show you in a second. Then we need to look at, it's been around for a long time. One of my favorite scenes ever from a movie, Rocky III. He does the straight blast. I'm going to show you where he does it here. Here's Creed, final fight, backing him up. They're going at it, right? Look at this. Come on, hit me harder. Hit me harder. Come on, he got nothing. He ain't so bad. He ain't nothing, right? We got this? We know where this is going, but let's watch this without us all getting riled up because I don't want you to miss this. Watch as Rocky's getting backed into the corner. Let's see. Boom, boom. Here comes a straight blast. Ready? Boom, boom. Where's he going to throw? Starts throwing punches. No, that's not it. Here it comes. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's a straight blast. Believe it or not, that's a straight blast in concept. I'm going to play it again. It's to get your opponent flurried out there like, what the hell? That's not it. That's some hits. You're going to recover. I got to get this guy off me. What do I do? Boom, no. Here it comes. I got to get him up, back him up. Well, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's a concept of a straight blast. You're throwing something out there to get your opponent to be like, what the fuck? Remember, it's sensory overload is the concept. Now, let's talk about one of the better applications of where I think I've seen it done. And he's got it up there. It's going to be Dan the Wolfman. He's got one of the best applications of the straight blast out there. Let's see what he does.
Goes right back in and cuts it off. And how about a high kick there?
That's a straight blast. Let's look at that again. That's quick as shit. Watch him go to get sensory overload and then switch and transition to another technique.
Goes right back in and cuts it off. And
straight blast. Look what the guy did. When he did that, the guy went high, Dan went low. High. Well, I'll correct my movement behavior on that, or say verbiage on that. The guy went high, then he went low. Dan was still in a good position. Does that make sense? Look at this again. I think this is one of the best examples. Dan provides sensory overload. Guy's overwhelmed, so he drops low. All right, Dan's got good takedown defense. Going to go for a sprawl front headlock. I'm liking this. He does it again. Where's this next time? Here's another fight he does it. Entry. Straight blast, straight blast, straight blast. This is why I like this guy, because he actually put his fucking money where his mouth is. This is very quick. And why this is so beautiful is everybody expects straight blast to be, like we teach, right? 10 pit punches going in. It's 2 or 3. It's 2 or 3. Watch this again. Watch how quick this happens. 1, 2, 3. It's a few punches. It's a flurry of punches. It's like a boxing jab, right? What's the boxing jab? The feeler to the distractor, setting it up. Same concept. One more time. Yeah, it's great. It's just a technique and a concept to get your opponent off sensory overload, right? What I don't like about it is when people think that it's focused to be at one spot to do damage. No, you need to then go from the sensory overload into the blood loss concept, right? So Dan the Wolfman has it great. It's in Rocky 3. Paul Vunak taught it. I honestly think if you really do want a definitive video on the concept for chain punches, you go to Sifu Fo. You go to Enter Tai Chi as a channel. And
when you do this, where's the mass? Where's the focus? Okay? Yeah, you have speed, but it's not really good enough speed because it's too much motion. When you study the human anatomy and you look at how the body works to accelerate, the acceleration works within the first, they say 2 to 5 inches. After that's just momentum. So if you're going like that and you're hitting from here to here, that momentum is lost. So or that acceleration is lost. All you have is momentum. And since your body's really not behind it, it doesn't have a lot of power. Now, if you turn your hip behind it like that, or you sink into it, now you put your mass behind the hip. Now it becomes much stronger.
For that full video, you guys got to go to Enter Tai Chi channel. It's Wing Chun. Do chain punches really work in a street fight? I'll put the links for these videos up in the narrative here. But that's my view on the Wing Chun straight blast. There's no real. It's actually a Jeet Kune Do straight blast. The chain punch is what it's for. Where it does exist, really, it's a concept for training for just constantly firing another punch forward, another strike, another elbow, another palm strike, whatever you want. And then the Indiana Jones aspect, replacing, teaching just to belt feed your ammunition, center line domination. And then the straight blast, I think, is exclusively to Jeet Kune Do. I don't really give a fuck if you take this the wrong way. I think that the straight blast dumbs down and waters down the meaning behind Wing Chun and why we teach it. But again, too, you know, no offense to you guys who were in JKD, you don't know Wing Chun. A lot of you guys, you took 2-3 months in Wing Chun and think you know it. I said this from the beginning. You know, if Bruce Lee fully knew Wing Chun, he never would have created Jeet Kune Do because it was always there in the first place. Hope that makes sense. Don't mean to offend you guys. I don't give a fuck. You know that. Hit the like button. See you on the next video. Have a great damn day.